96.5 The Voice. The Alice Stewart Show is on the air and on your radio right now. Here's more from Alice on 96.5 The Voice.
Welcome back to the show. 7:20, 11 days, 15 hours, 39 minutes, and 54 seconds. The countdown is on for the enrollment period for Obamacare, which will cost, as many say, jobs, healthcare access, higher premiums, weaker economy, many factors that go into the oncoming Affordable Care Act for our nation and our state, as it also will impact the private option implementation in the state. Here to talk about that, State Representative and Majority Leader Bruce Westerman, also a candidate for 4th District Congress. Representative Westerman, great to have you here.
Good morning, Alice. It's great to be here visiting with you.
Well, thank you.
Phone.
Well, I next time you will be in studio, but I want to talk with you importantly about this implementation of Obamacare and so many factors that go into this. And I know it's clearly with delaying some key aspects of this and how it affects here in the state. But one of the key components of this that has not gotten a lot of attention is the fact that there are the rates involved in this. We still don't know what the rates are involved in this health care.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure when we will find out. Hopefully for those people who are trying to sign up on the exchange, they will find out before the exact number you gave earlier, which I guess is changing by the second, but it's just a couple of weeks out. That was one of the concerns I had with the whole exchange system. It was the fast-paced implementation of it and how quickly everything had to be done. And also, we don't even know if the exchanges work yet. I guess we'll find out in a couple of weeks.
Well, and that's the thing. How can they move full speed ahead with enrollment on a program that's the key aspects of this we don't even know? How can that be feasibly possible?
That's a good question, and maybe they are going to work. Maybe they do have all the numbers back, but I believe it's time they started sharing some of that information and letting us know if it's working and if it's on schedule. Well,
and here's the question, Representative Westerman, is that this was sold to the American people back before 2010, that this was a fundamental transformation of our health care. This is a signature achievement now, supposedly, of President Obama. This will lower costs, improve quality of care, increase access, and this is a phenomenal program, yet they're spending millions upon millions of dollars to get people enrolled in this. And another key vote will come up tomorrow here in Arkansas, $4 million, an additional to the $4 million already spent on advertising for enrollment in this program. And this needs to stop.
Yeah, and Alice, I would agree with your assessment that their assessment that it's a fundamental transformation of healthcare in this country. But some of those other adjectives, I don't know if I could go along with, especially the affordable part that the Act's named after. But yeah, there is another $4 million grant that's coming up for review tomorrow to help implement Obamacare in Arkansas. And I'm on that committee that will review that, and I'll be there again trying to stop the implementation of Obamacare in Arkansas.
Well, what exactly will this money be used for? We've already seen a lot spent on ads and mailers. Are we going to see more of the same, or is this different? I mean, what will $4 million more be spent on?
That's a good question that I hope to find out in the committee meeting tomorrow. They're not sharing a whole lot of information with me on the implementation of Obamacare in Arkansas.
Well, and this is another situation to where those that are listening, and we've talked about this before, let your voice be heard. Contact your elected officials in the state and let them know you don't want more money being spent, because there's an opportunity to stop this and not have more money go to this program. What would you encourage folks to do?
I do just that. Call, email, text your representatives and your senators, and if it's something you oppose, let them know, because that does make a difference.
And in terms of your speaking with folks, you are running for Congress in the 4th District. You're running against Tommy Mull, and clearly this is Obamacare is front and center on many minds. As I speak with our current members of Congress and they have town halls, the Affordable Care Act is the number one concern of constituents. And as you campaign for Congress, what are your constituents, those in your district, telling you about Obamacare?
Well, Alice, I knew all along that the Affordable Care Act was not good for the country, but as I've traveled around and visited with constituents and business people across the state, I'm hearing stories about just how bad it is. And the one thing I'm not hearing anybody talk about is how much cheaper their health care is going to be with Obamacare. So it's something I have always opposed, but it's making me oppose it even more when I understand how much more damage it's doing to our economic freedom here and how much it's hurting businesses.
And in terms of your priorities for your campaign and what you would do if elected to Congress, what would be your top priorities as a congressman in the 4th District?
Well, I think the Obamacare is the main thing that's hurting our country right now, and we need to get rid of it. It's a bad law that needs to be taken off the books and first off repealed and then replaced with something that actually is good for the country.
And right now, you are running to fill the seat that has just been vacated will be vacated by Congressman Tom Cotton, who is running against Senator Mark Pryor for U.S. Senate. There is no named Democrat yet in that race, but you are running in the primary against Tommy Mull. How would you distinguish between the two of you, the difference, and what makes your candidacy different than him?
Well, I think I'm obviously more seasoned than Tommy. I've got a record. I really don't know Tommy. I've talked to him one time, but from what I understand, he grew up in Arkansas and moved away to go to college. Seemed like a nice, well-spoken guy, but I think he just moved to Hot Springs a few months ago, I guess, to run for Congress. So I've got a record that I'm proud of, and I hope the voters will look at my record, look at my stance on the issues, and my position to work against a top-down centralized government. And as I share that message on the campaign trail, I think that's resonating with people, that they want to get Washington out of their lives more so than having the current direction and position of the Obama administration of putting more Washington into our lives. So I'm running on those issues. Again, I do have a record that I'm proud of. I hope that voters will examine my record, that they'll look at the positions I've taken and the courage that I've shown on certain issues, and that they will support me in this endeavor.
And I want to ask, and in terms of your record as elected official in the legislature, how does that help, or are there any issues that you see you will be an issue? But how was your experience as an elected official, as a state representative, as the majority leader, impact in your race for Congress?
Well, I've worked to reform state government. I've worked to lower taxes. I've worked very hard against Obamacare. I was looking for a solution on the private option to the problem that got thrust on us by the federal government. At the end of the day, the solution that we came up with was not one that I agreed with or could support, so I fought that hard, and I'm proud of the positions I took, the speeches that I made. It may have offended some of the lobbyist group or those entrenched in government. I'm sure it offended the governor and some of the Democrats, but I think I was speaking up on behalf of the people. And, I did that in Little Rock, and I'll do that in Washington, D.C. Well,
Representative, you're a Republican, and offending Governor Beebe is part of the territory, as you well are aware. State Representative Bruce Westerman, a majority leader there in the House, candidate for 4th District Congress. Representative Westerman, thank you for your time, and look forward to talking with you again soon.
Thank you, Alice. Anytime.
All right, have a great day. We're going to take a break. When we come back,